We're going to go ahead and get started with the official ribbon cutting ceremony. I'd like to introduce our Oshkosh Mayor, Steve Cummings.
Thank you, Emily, and good afternoon and welcome. Thank you for joining us today for Go Transit's new bus ribbon cutting ceremony. We can control a lot of things about a ribbon cutting. Unfortunately, the weather is not one of them, but we're lucky so far. You'll hear Jim Collins talk about all the people and organizations involved over the past 5 years to bring these much-needed new buses to Oshkosh. This is another perfect example of how collaboration makes things happen in our city. The Common Council has taken efforts to ensure that bus fares in Oshkosh remain the lowest in the state of Wisconsin. It's an economical and convenient way to get to your destination, whether it's work, shopping, visiting friends or family, going to school, or just enjoying all the great things our wonderful city has to offer. Go Transit is the best way to get there. Thank you again for coming, and thank you to Go Transit for the quality service you provide to our citizens. Now I'd like to turn the podium over to Jim Collins, our Transportation Director. Jim?
All right. Thanks, Mayor. Go Transit provides over 1 million rides a year to the citizens of Oshkosh, taking riders to work, school, shopping, medical appointments, and recreation destinations. Providing safe, reliable transportation is Go Transit's primary mission. Whether you're a transit dependent, a student, a choice rider, our goal is to get our riders to and from their destination safely and on time. These new clean diesel fuel efficient buses will help us to continue to fulfill this mission. These buses are replacing 2003 buses which are well past their 12-year useful life. The funding for these buses mostly came from Federal Transit Administration, what we call 5339 capital grants, which fund 80% of the cost. The other 20% comes from the city's capital improvement budgets. The Wisconsin Department of Transportation's Transit Bureau helped to administer this procurement for us, and these buses are the culmination of over 5 years of grant applications and ultimately awards. We would like to thank the Federal Transit Administration, the Wisconsin Department of Transportation, Winnebago County, the City of Oshkosh Common Council, the Transit Advisory Board, our loyal riders, and the citizens of Oshkosh for their support of this purchase and of public transportation in Oshkosh. I'd like to thank Go Transit staff for all their hard work on this procurement and their dedication to our mission. They've spent countless hours on this procurement, from grant applications to inspecting the buses as they were built to preparing the buses for revenue service. Finally, I'd like to thank our drivers. They deliver our mission of safe, reliable transportation 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. Without them, we wouldn't be able to deliver our mission every day. So thank you all for coming. And now I'd like to introduce your city manager, Marc Roloff.
Thank you, Jim. I want to thank everybody for coming out today, particularly those of you who ride Go Transit. The bus system in our community is meant to provide, as Jim said, safe, reliable transportation for you. A lot of people don't ride the bus in our community, and that's okay. But for those of you who do ride the bus, we know it's a very important part, whether it's for you to get to a doctor's appointment or children, members of your family go into school, just any of those destinations that are important to you for basic life needs, going shopping, things like that. That's what Go Transit does. And even though not everybody in the community necessarily rides the bus, there are a lot of things a lot of people don't use in the community, but everybody uses something of our transit system and other city services. So it's important that we emphasize the importance of transit. A lot of times you're going to see buses that aren't filled to capacity, but I would say look behind you. Our roads are not filled to capacity right now, but our roads are very important in our community, and so is transit, and that's why we have it. So I want to thank the leadership of our city council. You already met Mayor Steve Cummings. 2 of our council members are here today, Matt Mugarauer and Steve Herman. I want to thank them for coming and for their leadership in recognizing the importance of transit for our overall community. And then, of course, all of our staff that are here today, particularly Greg Maxwell, who's celebrating his 30th year of working for Go Transit. Greg's going to be retiring this summer, and want to thank him. I encourage you to go and take a look at inside the new bus when you're looking at it, some photos of some old buses. And some of those old buses, Greg actually told me he drove a few of them. And some of you may have ridden those buses because they date back to when Oshkosh Transit was actually a privately owned transit system. We were probably one of the last ones to finally become a public transit system. And that's because transit's important to the public. So take a look at those, and maybe a little nostalgic for you if you take a look at some of those. But I think it shows the commitment we have to provide safe, reliable transportation for all of our residents. And these buses are so much more fuel efficient and emission efficient, more than they've ever been. Even the buses we purchased back in 2010 that were hybrid buses, the clean diesel burning fuel that we have now is just much more beneficial for the environment. So there's a lot of elements that go into just getting a bus. It's not just painting it green and letting it go. There's a lot more to it than that. Comfort for riders and just safety for all of you as well. So I want to thank you for coming today. Encourage you to tell others about Go Transit, the service we provide, and it's not just for you. It's for everybody in the community that wants to take advantage of it, and give it a try. I think you'll enjoy it. So thanks for coming, and I think now we're going to get into a little bit of a ribbon cutting action.